Hi, Leslie. This is Jordan LaBarber with Bills.com. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Jordan?
Good.
Good.
Sean talked about Dane Jackson, just how prepared he was. What was your level of confidence in him, and how did you feel he fared?
Can you repeat your question for me, please?
What was your level of confidence in Dane Jackson, and how do you think?
Yeah, credit John Butler, who did a terrific job. He's our secondary coach, and getting Dane prepared. I've watched Dane throughout the training camp that we had, and watching him on the practice squad prepare every week as if he was going to play. So I wasn't, really nervous or overly concerned about if he would know what to do. It was a matter of how he would react to some of the ups and downs of a game, and he handled every situation, with so much poise. So it was really encouraging to watch his play. And John did a terrific job of getting included into the game plan. And because things happen sudden, we were expecting Josh to play and start for us. And, in 48 hours before the game, you find out as a rookie, a guy who's been on the practice squad, you're going to end up starting. So just a great job by John, great job by Dane as well, and going out and playing as well as he played.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Leslie, John Scott.
Hey, John.
I'm sure you're feeling pretty good today.
Oh, yeah, always good to win.
We noticed in the second half, you really seem to dial things up, somewhat similarly to what we saw in the Raiders game. What led you to make that adjustment, and is it something you think you may consider carrying over more so than you usually do in your traditional games?
Yeah, I mean, every game's a little bit different, John. You like to be able to put as much pressure on the offense as you can in certain situations, and you try to adjust as the game goes on. And the game on yesterday afforded us some opportunities we wanted to take advantage of in the second half, and our guys, they did exactly that. They executed the calls, and they did a great job of putting pressure on the Jets offense.
Obviously, when you're bringing more people, that leaves the back end more on an island out there. Is that some of it where you're dealing with the injuries? You don't have Levi, you don't have Josh out there. So it's a little more challenging to put someone like Dane or those guys in the back end out there on their own to bring the pressure.
Yeah, you are conscious of that for sure. When you're thinking about and weighing whether or not you can bring pressure, you are thinking about the people that are in coverage and what their strengths and weaknesses are. I mean, that plays into it to a degree. And you just try to put the guys in the best position to succeed, and hopefully that happens. And yesterday it worked out great for us.
Thanks, Leslie.
You're welcome, John.
Hey, Leslie. Sean was talking a little bit about analyzing and wrapping up yesterday's game, and spending the day today really looking at what went well, what didn't yesterday. One of the things that really went well for you guys was the pass rush, and that's something we've been talking about for a while there. When you get it on tape, what was really working, and was there anybody? Obviously, we saw Jerry Hughes really playing well, but were there any performances that really stood out?
Well, you mentioned one. Jerry was terrific. He got a game ball for his performance, and anytime you get sacks and you're causing fumbles, and then you get an interception as well, I mean, that's quite a day. But Ed Oliver really stepped up. He had a terrific day for us. Put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He didn't necessarily get him on the ground, but he was winning his one-on-ones when he had an opportunity. We had a good rush from Quinn Jefferson at times, and even A.J. Espinoza stepped up and gave us something, as well. And Mario Addison continues to play well for us, giving us something off the edge. So we had a number of guys that really gave us a good pocket push, but Jerry really stood out.
What's some of the things that Harrison's doing? Sean said that he's doing great, and we haven't seen him in 2 weeks. What are some of the things that he's doing to, not only impress you guys, but to excel when he doesn't, play in the games?
Well, he's a professional in the way he goes about his preparation every week that we show up for practice. I mean, he's out there performing as if he's going to be a game starter. And that's what you like to see, knowing the guys are preparing as if they're going to start every single day they come to practice. And that's what Dane did in his role leading up to his getting his first start. And that's the way Harrison has been. He hasn't let the fact that he missed playing time this week and then our previous game interfere with his preparation. And as a coach, I mean, that's exactly what you want to see, because things change in a hurry in our league. And eventually Harrison is going to be back out there. And we have no doubt when he's back on the field, he's going to perform at a high level for us.
And if I can ask one more, I know Sean said that you guys haven't really gotten too much into New England yet, but we don't get to talk to you later in the week. Any impressions of Cam Newton in this offense so far and what challenges they present?
Yeah, I don't know much about him yet, but I know they're running the ball extremely well. So, and that's been a little bit of a problem for us at times. So, and that's something we'll have to dig deep into and get a handle of their run game and deal with their pass game. I don't know much about them, but that part I do know that they're running the ball effectively.
Thanks, Leslie. Appreciate it.
Well,
hey, Leslie, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. You kind of just touched on it there a little bit, but what can you say about the performance that Jerry Hughes had, and how did it look on tape? Was it as good as it looked like on TV?
Oh yeah, I mean, Jay, he was dominant. Even the times where he didn't sack the quarterback, he did a great job for us in putting pressure on their passing game, and did a good job in the run game as well. It was really stout, playing the left end position. He's traditionally been our number one guy on the right side, and we kind of made a switch, putting him on the left and letting Mario work the right. And I mean, he's never complained, and he's gotten better and better at the left side. And yesterday was kind of like a coming out for him on the left side of the line and rushing from the left side. So, yeah, it was dominant on tape, and we needed it. It was big for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Leslie. Jenna Cottrell in Rochester. Just curious, and not to get too specific, but what was the message at halftime? Because it was obviously very impactful for that second half and the way the defense played.
Yeah, Jenna, we just talked about some things we wanted to do a little bit better going out that second half. We kind of saw some things that their offense was using to try to attack what we were doing on defense, and we wanted to counter that. And credit to our players and our coaches to be able to communicate it to our players, and then for our players to go out and execute those subtle changes that we made. And, it was definitely ingredients for success because our guys really turned it up in that second half.
And also just a quick thing, you mentioned AJ getting a little bit more time, making some plays. What have you seen from his progression as he, works his way more into the lineup?
Yeah, you can see his confidence really growing. The game is definitely not too big for him. He's beginning to show more and more of his repertoire when it comes to rushing the passer, just getting a lot more comfortable as he gains confidence about playing in the NFL. And you would expect that to be the case as the year goes on with the short training camp that he had and no run up to the season. So it's really good to see how he's beginning to get into a groove and grow as a player.
Thank you.
Well,
hi, Leslie. I'm curious what you
Hey, Fairburn, you're breaking up.
Stat sheet, maybe not as productive as some of the other guys, but what did you see?
you might have to help me out, Nicole.
We're gonna go ahead and go to Kevin Sylvester, but we can go back to Fairburn. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Hi, Leslie. Kevin Sylvester, Channel 2 here in Buffalo.
Thank you.
Want to go back to Jerry Hughes for a moment, because last week after the game, he seemed to really take it personally, the performance of the defensive line, and talked about bringing the guys in without the coaches to look over tape to kind of correct things. So kind of two parts to this. Did he have any discussions with you personally, one-on-one, about what he can do? And then what does it mean for you as a coach to have a leader take it upon himself and then go out and have the game that he had yesterday?
Yeah, we didn't talk, Kevin, about things that needed to be done with the D-line. I mean, it was more Jerry taking it upon himself as a leader to pull those guys together. And I know they all got together and they watched that game tape together, which was really good. And I was so encouraged by Jerry yesterday. Early in the game when we had fell behind, Jerry was so positive and encouraging his teammates on the sideline. I remember saying to myself, man, that's what you need out of one of your star players who's a leader. I mean, he wasn't pointing fingers. He never doubted that we were going to win that game. You could hear it in his voice. And then for him to go out and play the way he played, along with leading on the sideline, you know, it was really encouraging for me personally and our coaching staff and for his teammates as well. So my hat's off to the way he played yesterday, but also the way he led as a teammate.
And just a quick follow-up, if I may. Have you seen him do that before in previous seasons, game to game?
Not to the degree that I saw yesterday and that I've been seeing of late. And part of that, Kevin, is some of the guys we had in those roles, in those leadership roles. I mean, when you're, you know, out there with Kyle or Lorenzo, I mean, those guys kind of have filled those shoes for us in the past. Now we're lacking that a little bit. And so you don't have a Kyle Williams, you don't have a Lorenzo who steps into that role. And yesterday, you know, I saw Jared do it at a level that I hadn't seen before, although he's been working towards that. But I think that bodes well for us in the future.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach Frazier, Mookie Hawkins, World for Sports 1080. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Good.
Hey, defense played like, you know, it seems like you put some hot sauce in their food at halftime because they was playing with their hair on fire, man. 4 yards of total offense in that second half, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. Jerry Hughes playing out his mind. On third down, he was only 25%. Jerry Hughes out there setting the edge with 2 sacks and a pick of his own. Have you found some good ingredients to keep this thing going?
You like to hope so. I mean, that's the goal, to be consistent, you know, and continue just to progress as the season goes on. I mean, you want to be playing your best ball when December rolls around, and that's what we're working towards. And, you know, every week is a little bit different, and you're just taking steps towards what your ultimate goal is. So we're hoping that, you know, we've latched on to something and we can keep building on it.
Absolutely. And one person that really doesn't get mentioned a lot, Vernon Butler. Care to talk about how instrumental, how he played yesterday?
Yeah, Vernon did a good job for us. You know, when we made some of the adjustments we made at halftime, he was one of those guys we were counting on being able to grasp that and go out and execute it in the second half, and he did. And he played very well for us. You know, we're always challenging Vernon to give us more, and he did yesterday. And we need him up front to really be a force where people have to deal with him. And you know, he did a good job for us yesterday.
Absolutely. Outstanding job, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Leslie, it's Kim Jones. How are you?
Hey, Kim, how are you?
It's casual Monday at my house. I'm curious, you know, I know you would have loved to have won by 30 points yesterday because every team would love to do that. But could it be good as you move ahead this season for your defense to have had to come up so clutch each time with not a whole lot of margin yesterday against the Jets? Like, you're smiling, but can that lift your group that, hey, you guys won yesterday in large part because your defense played like your defense?
You know, Kim, the reason I'm smiling is because you're thinking like I was thinking on the sidelines. I'm not kidding. I was hoping our offense would score that touchdown when we end up getting the field goal to put us up by 8. But deep down in my heart, I said, you know, it wouldn't be bad if we had to go out and close this thing out on defense for what we're trying to get accomplished long term. Because, as you know, in the past, that's usually the way it was. We had to go out and really close the games out. And so I'm hoping that this will be something that'll be a confidence builder and something we can build on as the season goes on. You know, every week is a little bit different, but deep down, I'm hoping that this is going to be the catalyst for us just continuing to improve.
You're awesome, Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all we got. Thank you, Leslie.
All right. See you, Nicole.
Thanks, guys.